everyone. Here in this video we're gonna talk about random. Right now you must be thinking, what is the use of this thing while we are continuing a series of NumPy? So it's a sub-module in NumPy. I'll explain you in some time. What random is, let's understand first. So random means something, something which is happening without any method, right? There is something which happens without any method, without any plan, without any pattern, or without any conscious decision. For example, you went outside of your home and you start feeling hungry and you don't have any plan, any venue, and you just go into any restaurant and have your food, right? You don't have any plan. So that's something which will be called that you picked a random restaurant. Let me give you an example. Let's say here you have a set of balls, right? And if we ask you to pick the balls out of it and you pick this set of balls, so this has a plan. It clearly shows a plan, right? It has a pattern. That means you have picked all red balls. Now if we close your eyes, or if we make you blindfolded and if we ask you to pick the balls and you end up picking this set of balls, so if you see, this doesn't have any plan. All these four balls are of different colors, right? So we will say that it's a random selection, right? It's random selection of balls. So when we say random, that doesn't mean the things will not repeat. It might repeat again because your eyes are blindfolded, so you might end up picking these balls again, right? But while picking the balls, you were not seeing that, so you're not following a pattern. For example, let's say you pick this set of balls. So if you see over here, you have two green balls repeated, right? But that doesn't mean that it is not random. So it could be random with repeated numbers as well. So I just hope that randomness is clear. Randomness means simple means is it doesn't follow any fixed pattern, right? Whatever is going to come in the future, that will not be dependent on past or on the present. That's what randomness is. Let's take an example in case of numbers. Let's say if I ask you to write the numbers between 1 to 10 and you end up writing this. So it is clearly following a pattern, right? It is in sequence. Or you come up with this one, right? So this is just set of numbers on interval of 3, right? So this is also following a pattern, right? This is set of numbers on interval of 2. This is also following a pattern. But if you come up with this set, if you see over here, it is 9 2 6 4 7. Somewhere it is increasing, somewhere it is decreasing, right? It's not following a pattern. These are 10 different numbers, okay, without any pattern. And if you see over here also, it is the same thing. If you see here, 9 is getting repeated even though it is random. So the set of numbers could be random with same numbers repeated, right? If same number is getting repeated, that doesn't mean it is following a pattern, or it's not a random, right? It could be a random thing. I just hope that the randomness is clear to you. Now after that, in NumPy we have a sub module which is called random, and in this random we're going to learn about all these three things. What those three things are: random float. How can you generate a series of random float numbers? How can you generate a series of random integer numbers? Or how can you generate a series of numbers of your choice, right? You can just provide specific set of numbers and it will generate the random numbers from those specific set only. Now let me take you to the Jupyter notebook and try to explain you in detail. So to start with this, first we need to import the NumPy module, right? So like we can say import NumPy. Now there are two ways: either you import NumPy and each of the time you can keep on importing the random out of it. So or you can do this way: from NumPy import random. I can say this as well. Sorry, from NumPy import random, and I'll give a alias which is rnd. Okay, so this is imported. Random module is imported. Now let's try to create some random numbers. Okay, rnd dot, I just need to use this function rand, R-A-N-D, right? So remember, this is alias of this random module and this is the function. Now once you do this and open the parenthesis operator and close that, and when you hit enter, every time you hit enter it will give you a random number, right? But like you can see, this is a float number. Now over here you can also specify the size, right? So you can say that give me 5 random numbers. Okay, so this is giving you 5 array of 5 random numbers. Now you can keep on hitting the enter, it will keep on giving you the different random numbers. Now you see this is giving you the float number which is always less than 1, right? Let's try keep on hitting the enter. It will give you the random numbers in form of float which will be less than 1 only. Now if you want to generate it in different shape, let's say in 2D, that you can also do. Let's do this, right? So here you are creating a 2D array in which you have 3 one-dimensional array, and each of the 3 one-dimensional arrays containing 5 elements. Now if you want to check its dimension, you can do and dim. So this is something which I have explained in my previous videos. You can check out the playlist and you will get to know that. Now if you want to make a 3-dimensional array, you can do that also. Let's do this. So in this, simply we are trying to say that this is a 3-dimensional array with 3 2D arrays, right? And in each of the 2D array you have 2 one-dimensional array, and in each of the one-dimensional array you have 5 elements. So this is how you can create multi-dimensional array of random numbers, and that too in float. So here we saw it for float. Now let's check for integer numbers. Here it will give you the integer numbers, right? So you're gonna do the same thing, rand.random randint. There is a function which is called randint. Now in this you're gonna provide, so let's have a look at its syntax, right? So here you have to provide low, what is the value that you want to start it from, then what is the value that you want to end it to, and what is the size that you want to produce. So for example, I want to have the random numbers between 1 and 10 with a size of 5, and just hit enter. Here I am simply trying to say that give me the 5 random number between 1 to 10. Right? So when you provide the lower limit, that will be included in this series, but the upper limit will never be included, right? So here you see 1 is included, but it can give you a set of 5 elements, I mean array of 5 elements. In that you see 1 is not included, but it might also give you a set where 1 will be included, but it will never give you a set where 10 is included. So lower limit can be included, but upper limit is always exclusive, right? Now you can do this also, right? So over here it will always give you set of 5 numbers below 10. When you specify just 10, any number, and if you give a size, then it will take it as the upper limit, and it will always give you set of 5 numbers or whatever size you specify over here below that, below this one, right? This is the upper limit, this is treated as the high. So I just hope that you understand. So now here also you can specify the shape, I mean the dimension, in what dimension you want to have it. So let's say 3:5. So here we are saying to generate a 2D array, right? So here if you see, we have 3 one-dimensional array, and each of the one-dimensional array have 5 elements into it, right? And this is the 2-dimensional array. This total, this starting from here till here, it is a 2-dimensional array. If you want to check it, you can check that also, ending. You see, 2-dimensional array. Now if you want to make it 3-dimensional array, that can also be done. You see, you got the 3-dimensional arrays. So all that, the main point which I wanted to highlight over here is you can generate the set of random numbers, that to integer, and for that you're gonna provide, I'll create it up once again, right? rnd.randint, and in that you provide the upper limit. Let's say upper limit I gave the 10, and I want to give a size of, let's say 6. So every time you hit enter, just 1 second, I think there is some error here, I just made a spelling error. So every time you hit enter, it's gonna give you a set of 5 numbers, an array of 5 elements, but that will always be less than 10. Now if you want to make it specific, let's say if I want to have it between 7 to 10, right? And then you hit enter, it's always going to be between 7 to 10, but that will be set of 6 numbers, and numbers might be repeated, will be repeated, because these are, there could be just 3 possible numbers, so it will have to be repeated. Okay, so I just hope that it is clear to you. Okay, now after that, here it says that you can generate random numbers of your choice. How can we do that? So for that, rand, and this rnd is the alias of random, and you're going to say choice, and into that what you're going to do is you provide a list of numbers, let's say this, and you just hit enter. It will always give you a number from this list only. Now if you want to make a size of this, you can specify a size of this as well, right? So here you can say, let's say 6, and you hit enter. Sorry, it will be 4 only. There it's okay, it's spelling error, sorry. Now if you see here, let's try with 6. So here we are simply saying that give us an array of 6 elements, 6 numbers, right? But that should be out of this only. It's just the sequence is not fixed. So you see over here, this will always be 2 3 5 7, anything out of this set, but the size will be 6, and that sequence will be random. Okay, you see over here. So this is how you can generate the random numbers using NumPy submodule, which is random. I just hope that it was clear to you. Thank you for watching the video. Wish you